Hi there, Volt owners. Today in your 2012 Chevrolet Volt, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install EcoHitch's Invisi hitch. And this is what our hitch is going to look like when it's installed. And you're probably wondering, well, what hitch? Well, our hitch is going to be hidden beneath our license plate. We just flip it up and you can access it there. It's a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver, so it's going to be compatible with most accessories. Whether you're going to be placing a bike rack in it and putting a couple of bikes on it, or putting in a ball mount and doing some extremely light towing. It features vertical plate-style safety chain loops. Now you can't see these safety chain loops, and honestly you can't get to them either. They're going to be behind the bumper down below your receiver, so it makes them kind of useless. What I recommend is that you purchase a set of safety cable extensions and install those onto the safety chain loops when you're installing your hitch. It uses a 5/8 inch hitch pin and clip. Now one doesn't come included with your hitch, but you can pick one up here at eTrailer.com. So you can see there it is a bit finicky getting your hitch pin and clip installed due to the limited space. As always, I recommend that you verify in your vehicle's owner's manual and ensure you don't exceed any of its towing capacities. Now I've got some measurements for you to help you when deciding on accessories. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of your license plate when it's flipped up, it's going to be about 8 inches. To the edge of the rear bumper, it's about 5 inches. And from the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube, it's about 25 inches. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's go over the installation together so you can have the confidence to do it at home. You'll begin your installation by removing your undershield. Our customers was already missing when we got here. There's going to be several bolts underneath you're going to take out. You'll use a Torx bit to remove those. You'll then remove your license plate. You can mark around it if you want to make sure you don't drill outside the lines, and then you'll drill the holes in the bumper using the provided template that's included with your instructions. Use the template that comes in your kit. The markings indicate where to attach it to where your license plate used to go. And then you can make your pilot holes on those marks. You want to be careful when drilling it out as there is wiring located behind it. We're going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit to make our pilot holes. We'll then use hole saws to cut out the holes. Your middle hole is going to be a 4-inch hole saw, and your outside holes are going to use a 3-inch hole saw. When cutting on plastic, if you use the hole saw backwards, it can cut a little bit cleaner as it won't dig in and tear the plastic. If you have any clips still holding wiring to it, you'll want to remove those. These just pull right off. You can then cut around it to make it diamond shaped to give it a cleaner look. Use the diagram that's included with your instructions. You can then use a file to clean it up. And then you can clean off any markings you made. We'll now move to our inner fender well at the rear. We'll need to remove the 4 Torx screws located on each side so we can get our fascia off. We'll use a T20 Torx socket to remove them. You can now open your lift gate and remove the screws located on each side. We're going to use a Phillips head to remove those. We'll now start at one side and we're going to start peeling our fascia away from the vehicle. Once you got one side released, you can go over to the other side and start releasing that side. Once you get towards the center, if you look down in the crack, there's going to be some tabs you're going to have to release. You'll press down on those tabs and then pull outward. Do that going all the way across until it's released. An extra set of hands can help you hold the fascia up while you're releasing it. Once you've got it released, you'll want to unplug any electrical connectors that are located behind it. This is going to vary depending on the options you have on your vehicle. There's a red lock tab located on the connectors. You'll need to push that back first before you can press in on the release to get it disconnected. We'll then set our fascia aside where it won't get damaged. We can then remove the bumper beam located behind our fascia. There's going to be 3 bolts on each side. You'll use a 15mm socket to remove those. You can then take your bumper beam off and we'll grab our hitch. Before we slide our hitch on, you'll have some wiring that runs across here. Not all vehicles have this, it depends on your options, but if you do, it will get in the way of the hitch, so you can take a trim panel tool or a screwdriver to pop that off of there, and then we'll need to bend this stud up out of the way. We're just going to use a pair of vice grips, clip on there, and what we're going to do is just bend it up and down, and that way it'll just break off clean. We can then take our hitch, put it in place over the studs that held our bumper beam on, so just line those up, and then put your bumper beam back on over top of it. You take the hardware that held your bumper beam on and then just reinstall it. We can then tighten those down. And then we'll torque them to the specifications found in our instructions. We can then take a zip tie and reattach the wiring clip that we had to relocate to the hole located in the top of our hitch. Its purpose of being there is to relocate this wiring. Now before we put our fascia back on, I do want to point out that the safety table loops are located here, and they're very difficult to get to. I can't fit my hand in there. So in order to make these a little bit more accessible, because the hole that we cut out is only going to be right around here, so it's even going to be more difficult to get to those, I recommend that you install a set of safety cable extensions, which will extend those out to a location where we can easily access those. If you don't put these on now, you won't be able to get to these without removing your fascia again, or without drilling some sort of additional hole that'll give you access to these. Safety cable extensions can be picked up here at etrailer.com. We're using 8-inch extensions, which will be plenty to get the loops to a usable location. We'll just take our C-shaped connector, put it onto our safety chain loop there, and then we'll put our cable extension on there as well. Now we can reinstall our fascia in reverse order of how we removed it. Make sure you plug your electrical wiring back in before clipping it back on. If you removed your undershield, you can reinstall that now as well. We'll now install our flip-up bracket. Go ahead and take the bracket out of the kit. We're going to use the large Phillips head screws, place one of the flat washers in the kit that comes with it on it, and we're going to use that to attach our flip-up bracket to our factory license plate mounting location. Then we'll attach the other side. This side's a little bit more difficult because this is the spring-loaded side. So it kind of wants to fight you a little bit as you're trying to go in with it. Check to make sure that it flips up and clears. And if everything is good there, we can take the attachment clips that come in our kit and put them into the bottom square slots. They just press in, and then you can reinstall your license plate onto your flip bracket using the new screws through the lower holes in your license plate. After you've got your 2 bottom bolts screwed down, check it again to make sure it flips up. If it flips up, then your license plate has been reinstalled. And that completes our installation of EcoHitch's Invisi hitch on your 2012 Chevrolet Volt.